Despite cold, blustery weather, scientists and their supporters marched through downtown Geneva Saturday to voice their support for research and funding. "You are true patriots to be out on a day like this," Brenda Engelhardt said, using a megaphone to speak with the crowd gathered on the northwest corner of South 3rd Street and Crescent Place. The second annual March for Science returned to Geneva, with participants holding tightly onto placards to keep them from blowing away. The signs had varying messages including, "Let scientific reason reign," and "Vote out climate deniers." Organizers estimated there were approximately 80 walkers, considerably fewer than last year's crowd of about 300 walkers. Due to the inclement weather, organizers shortened the distance of the march. The emphasis this year was on two speakers. Rep. Bill Foster, D. Naperville, a former Fermilab physicist, addressed the crowd before the march began. "For years and years, the truth was whatever the strongman said it was. There are forces in our country that want us to move back to that. But that's not the way the truth actually works, certainly not in science, and certainly it should not be that way in politics," Foster said. "If you are a scientist and stand up and say something that is false, it is a career-ending move. It used to be that way in politics." Lauren Underwood, who won the Democratic nomination for the 14th Congressional District in last month's primary election, also spoke. She faces Rep. Randy Hultgren, R. Plano, in November. Two larger-than-life cutouts of Hultgren and Rep. Peter Roskam, R. Wheaton, were featured on signs. Foster said there are members in Congress who advocate for science but their votes show otherwise. He thanked the crowd for standing up for science, and for getting involved in the public life of our country. "It's a crucial time," Underwood, a registered nurse, said. "It's important to have lawmakers in Washington who share our values around evidence-based policymaking." Hultgren, she said, has not stood up for us. The demonstration began at the Geneva train station and followed South 3rd Street to State Street, and then headed back to Route 31. The nonpartisan event brought out a diverse group of people, including scientists, educators and activists. It was planned to coincide with marches planned for some 200 cities, including in Chicago. Engelhardt said she has a list of concerns that brought her out into the cold. "As an American, I am a mother, teacher and union member. I am here because we need to speak out on every single issue that President Donald Trump is trying to destroy. Truth and fact is the #1 thing he is trying to get rid of," Engelhardt said. Engelhardt said she felt good about the turnout, considering the weather. "It's cold outside and people still showed up. That's awesome," she said. Geneva resident Megan Bartlett said the march was led by Kane County Coalition, a grassroots organization comprising various organizations, including Indivisible Aurora, Indivisible Elgin and Fox Valley Action for Justice. The group obtained a proclamation signed by St. Charles Mayor Ray Regina that declared April the 14th of March for Science Day there. "It gives us hope there are some people in political office that do care about their constituents," she said. Clinical psychologist Melinda Hammond was willing to make the drive from Joliet to participate in Saturday's march. Last year, she made it to Chicago's march. "I am fully supportive of science-informed policies and funding for scientific research," Hammond said. Hammond said she has some assurance knowing Foster understands the value of science and took the time to be in Geneva. "Not all of our congressmen have to be scientists, but they have to be willing to listen to scientists and be educated on the issues," she said. Elgin resident Zachary Parjan said he believes research and development will help create new jobs and move the country forward. "There are advances in green energy, but more can be done. Coal is a thing of the past," he said. Fermilab particle scientist Gordon Koizumi held a sign written in Greek that he said read, "I march for science." Koizumi is involved in the research of neutrinos, known as the most elusive in the particle kingdom. "Science is the most fundamental part of our 21st century society," he said. "Hopefully it will help us understand the origin of matter. It's about as fundamental as we can get." Linda Girardi is a freelance reporter for the Courier News.